Welcome to the latest episode of Radical Money. I'm your host, Michael Garza. So, this episode today is about the different marijuana stocks you see and what should you invest in and what should you short, or should you do both, like I do. There are different methods for everybody. It's really tough to say what'll be the best. I'm no Miss Cleo when it comes to the markets. I'll admit it. But I'll tell you what, though, there is something you could do about it. You can win. So I'm going to up the brightness on here just a little bit. So where do we go from here? Look, the market, I honestly think it's overvalued. I think it was about time the market actually bled a little bit. The valuations were just too high. For a lot of investments, I felt, I don't know, it's just really tough to say. So my thing is, what I really want to talk about today is the market's overvalued. Penny stocks will definitely be devalued for sure. There's one company that I'm looking at in particular and shorting even further. Now, I could be wrong about them, but there are a lot of write-offs they have done. Now, have they become undervalued in the market? Well, that's a good question. It is possible, and they're called Aurora Cannabis. I talked about them in my last two episodes. I'm going to continue to talk about them today, but I'm also going to talk about a few other players. Tilray, Canopy Growth, Aphria. There's a few others that I'm probably missing, but my goal, and it is my goal, by the way, is to try to identify the best ones to buy, the best ones to short, and it may be possible you'll have to short all of them. Maybe in the short term, I don't know. I do believe there is a great recession coming, and I don't want to be pessimistic because I really don't believe, I don't believe the world's going to hell in a handbasket. I'm not that kind of, I'm not really pessimistic or anything. It really can be easy to be pessimistic these days. I'll admit it. There are times where I feel like there may be no hope. And I understand when there are people who question if there's really hope, if the market's going to keep going down, what will happen soon. So no, I understand people's concerns, and I really do. You'll have to forgive me, I'm actually restarting my computer. This is the computer, I'm actually on my desk right now. This is the computer I use whenever I do the edits to the video, or when I do any of the writing for the show. I'll admit, some of the episodes, this is a freestyle episode where I just kind of talk about the pot stocks and my own personal opinions. I don't have any real evidence to back up. One of the YouTubers, YouTube commenters, did give me some really good feedback. He said that in my last episodes, I think I was probably using a little too much emotion is what he was kind of conveying, and I wasn't producing enough facts. This episode I'm going to try to make more fact-based, but I'm not going to let go of the emotional state. I'm a very emotional creature. I'm not afraid to admit it. I think if it wasn't for my emotions and my ability to spot shit, I would not be a good trader in the marketplace. I would not be able to make the money I make. I would not be able to do what I do if it wasn't for my emotional. It's funny. I'm a mixture of logical and emotional when it comes to looking at data. And if I wasn't, and the thing is, I think if you're emotional when you look at data, that's actually a good thing, because the market is mainly emotional. It's an emotional ball game because everybody's freaking out, or everybody's, the market will always be volatile no matter what. You'll always have winners, you'll always have losers, but depending on the way you go about things in the market depends on if you're a winner or a loser in the long run. I prefer, like I always tell everybody, I love the volatility with a lot of different companies. I'm a big volatility guy. So if I see a volatile company, that's an opportunity to me, especially when it's a penny stock. Volatile penny stocks are fun, especially the pump and dump ones. When I find a pump and dump, I actually bet against them. When I find it, it's like striking gold. I do a little bit of, I do a few long-term put contracts, not too long. But, you know, betting against companies it's not something I like to do per se. It's easier to figure out when a company is going to go down than when it's going to go up, especially when it's bad, especially when especially when things just don't look good for it. Enough of my blabbering. I really want to get to the core, to the bread and butter of this conversation with you, YouTube people. As much as I love long-form discussion or in opinion, I also want to get to the point. I want to short all of the cannabis stocks. That's my want, and I'll tell you why. One, the legalization's not happening soon enough. Two, this is the thing. I want to short them in the short term. Not the long term, just the short term. Now, here's the plan. If the earnings for Aurora Cannabis are bad, if they're bad, I'm actually thinking about buying Canopy Growth Company. More stock in Canopy Growth. And when I think about it, when I think about buying stock in Canopy Growth, my main reason for wanting to buy stock in this company is for the pure fact I think it's probably one of the better ones. Canopy Growth Company, I'll admit, is one I have trouble wanting to short. In fact, it may be, I know I just said I want to short all of them, but Canopy Growth has been a fringe one for me. They're backed by big money. If you're going to invest in any pot stocks, at least invest long term for the ones that are backed by big money. Aurora Cannabis is not backed by any big company. It's not backed by any big investors. It's a for lack of a better word, lack of a better term, it's a shit show. It's a shit show. Come on. Aurora Cannabis not only has zero financial, like it's just, there's no profitability. No profitability. So, but yeah, no profitability. That's all I can say. I mean, I don't know where else to go except for say earnings have been shit. Too many write-downs for this company. There's just so much writing on the wall that they're not going to do good. Now, could this be what I would like to call, and this is brilliant, by the way, if this is what their plan is their plan is to make the company look so bad. This is another possibility too. To make the company look so bad on the market that investors will lose faith and sell, lowering the value of it so they can buy back the shares they once had, which is why there's no insiders right now. The insiders may be plotting to buy the shares again. If that's the case, this is why I buy a little bit at a time to lower my average cost for Aurora Cannabis. I buy small amounts of shares over small periods of time. That's what I do. And with no commission fees, it makes it easier to do this process these days. You could buy a very minimal amount of stock. It's probably one of the best ideas you could do. I'll tell you guys this. I've built up quite the portfolio. Well, at least, I wouldn't say quite the portfolio. I should say I've built quite a strategy surrounding Aurora Cannabis with my put contracts, with the amount of shares I own. And truth be told, I'm excited to see how this all plays out. Because look, Aurora, fundamentally, they produce a lot of pot. A lot of people are going to want pot, especially if there's a Great Depression of some sort. So, I'm pretty long on Aurora Cannabis, to be frank. I don't do call options, though. Hold on. I got a bad back, you guys. Hold on. Ugh. Don't do call options on them, please. Because it's tough to say when a company will go back up. Now, with Aurora, one thing we know about Aurora is their management has lied about a few things. They lied about a deal with Coca-Cola. I can't remember the other things I lied about. They're just not, they don't have a good track record right now. A lot of management's left. There's been I feel like a lot of scandal within it. I feel like it's just becoming a pump and dump at a very large scale. There's a reason it was a penny stock. It went down so far. And I'm glad I shorted them when I shorted them. At least I bought some put options against them. My point is, look, it's now or never for you, right? It's either now you get in on the action when you can, because you can still get on this action, baby. There's still time to ride this Aurora train for the put options, at least. When put options, in a nutshell, are betting against a company, all right, using a contract that represents 100 shares. I use Robinhood a lot, but the only thing that pisses me off about Robinhood is you can't actually go into the negatives of the stock. Technically, that's shorting. Put options are kind of another form of shorting, but I prefer put options anyway, so it's not a big deal. You pay a small premium, and if you're right, you're right. And you usually write about penny stocks in the long term if it's like a 6-month to 12-month range for your guess. So, what's it going to be? That's the question I'm asking you guys. Sorry, accessing the computer again. I'll access the old computer. Whoop. All right. Anyway, still got to pay attention to you guys. So, my thing is this. And, I'm being a little melodramatic, I think, with all this. I'm being quite a bit melodramatic. I bet against. I'll admit I bet against a few companies. I do this quite a bit. Will it become profitable in the long run? Admittedly, any direction the market goes at this point, it's a win-win situation for me, so it's kind of a moot point. With this reverse stock split has landed so far in my favor for Aurora Cannabis that it actually is almost sickening. Sorry, guys, my neck. I have a bad neck. Ugh. Anyway, it's sickening how crazy this has been for me, and I'm going to continue, like I said, to short, to buy put contracts, to stay diligent. You got to stay diligent, you guys. You guys got to buy these put contracts. Now, here's the problem, though. I bought my put contracts for pennies on the dollar, right? Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought they were going to go down this low. But I knew the reverse stock split was going to happen. And you know what happens when a reverse stock split happens? It all goes woo-wee. And that's the thing. You have to take advantage of the pure fact it's going down, baby. It's going down. So I took advantage that it was going down. And when I took the pure advantage, I took the point, I took a leap of faith and decided I'm going to take pure advantage of this. I'm going to bet against this company. And I did. And now, I'll probably be rich. Here's the thing, though. If their earnings are good, this is another reason why I tell you guys, because their earnings are 3 days after the split happened, right? So this is one of the reasons why I've been gradually buying their shares. Because if I don't, because let's say I'm wrong, right? And their earnings are actually really fucking good, then I missed out on some cool gains. So to avoid missing out on potentially incredible gains, I have been, and I will continue to buy shares gradually. Even after this reverse stock split, even as it keeps tanking. I'm not going to buy a shit ton of shares, just buy partial. And I'll tell you why buying partial has its advantages. One, like I said, I have a butt-fuck ton of put contracts. It doesn't really matter at this point. My real goal is to lower my average cost for the shares I own because I am long on Aurora. I'll admit it. I think it can still be a good company. I am still optimistic about this company, and I'm not afraid to say it. Look, will they go anywhere? I don't know. I just don't know. But I will tell you guys this. I'm going to continue to play this stock. I'm going to continue. Because I refuse to miss out on this opportunity. This is an opportunity whether you like to admit it or not. And I'm telling you guys this now. It's still an opportunity for you. Buy some shares of Aurora. Now, mind you, if the earnings are bad, it will go down. That's just the way the business works. So you may want to get a put contract. I don't know. It's really tough to say. The way the earnings go is the way earnings are on the 14th for Aurora, right? So it's where the earnings go that's the most important. Now, Canopy growth. What about Canopy growth? Let's take a look. Canopy growth is backed by big money. It produces quite a bit. It's not as big of a production as Aurora, but I think they may be outpacing Aurora. Plus, they have more reach than Aurora Cannabis. So I'm more inclined to go with Canopy growth as a company. Just more inclined. I think they're a better company. But I will also continue to buy a little bit of Aurora too, just in case things go better. I still think Aurora is a great company. They could get bought out by a bigger company. There's still that possibility. So that's the thing. You don't want to count this company out because big money could get interested, especially when their market cap goes down. Their market value is lowering by the day. And if it keeps lowering, I'm going to be richer, man. This is going to be crazy. Because they could do this reverse stock split again if the stock keeps getting shorted. It could go lower, you guys. You guys don't get this. It could go lower than it already is. That's scary. So there is the distinct possibility it could go lower. It is scary, I know. It's likely going to happen. Best thing I could tell you, be prepared. And that's one of the reasons why I got the put contracts before the reverse stock split happened, because it's a good situation. So I'll tell you what, if you guys want to know a good tip or trick, if you guys want to make some money in the market, go to Google News, type in reverse stock split announced. You will find, sometimes none, but sometimes you will find articles where a company today, maybe, who knows, I haven't looked in a while, I've been focused on Aurora so much, that a company admitted they're going to do a reverse stock split in a week. Whoa, that's good news for you. I mean that. So, what do you do when you see the news for the company that's going down and under? Well, you buy those put contracts because 9 times out of 10, in my experience, reverse stock splits just end up in free fall of the share price. I'm not trying to rap, by the way. But that's just how it works. Reverse stock splits are not a good thing, and it's usually the sign that a company is either corrupt or they're just doing things wrong. And I don't know why I sound like a fucking robot. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching this. Aphria is one I forgot to fucking mention. Aphria is one I will tell you. Aphria is actually kind of a good one. If you can, invest in Aphria. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't have big money either. So I hate to keep changing my mind. I've really been changing my mind because I weigh out all these possibilities, but I haven't thought about Aphria very much. And the more I think about it, yeah, bet against Aphria. They don't have any big money backers. And they've shown they're kind of, They don't have any big money, man. I just don't see the big money possibility. You know, there's no big money investors in Aphria. There may be future ones in Aurora. Look, I think I go with the giants in this one. Go with Canopy Growth and go with Aurora Cannabis. If you go with Aurora, go with them on the dip. But if you decide to go with Aurora on the rise, Maybe buy some put contracts because the put contracts will go down in value. Make sure you get those put contracts at a low value. For Aurora. Canopy growth, I have to say, I'm kind of long on them. I like them. So I'm all for it. All for it. So my other deal is this. With Aurora, shorting it is the best option. It really is. Betting against it, doing whatever, it's going to continue to go down. I mean, that's my prediction. By the way, disclaimer, you guys, I should be doing these more often, these disclaimers. All of everything I'm saying is opinion based. It's not based on fact. Oh, hold on. It is based on fact, but the problem is the markets are very volatile. I am no clairvoyant. I'm not a Miss Cleo. All right, I cannot predict these markets the way you guys think I can predict them. I can't. I'm good at it. Don't get me wrong. I predicted JCPenney would go bankrupt. They're going to file for bankruptcy. Chesapeake Energy, I predicted they were going to file for bankruptcy. And I predicted Aurora Cannabis was sucking it. All right, so I'm good at this. I'll admit it. I'm good at finding shit. All right? But at the same frickin' time, none of the things I say is an absolute guarantee. So take my advice at your own peril. I don't know if that's the right word. At your own at your own discretion, maybe that's the best word. So it's up to you on how you really want to invest at the end of the day. I am only showing you what I do. And what I do may not work for you, and it may not even be right. It may be a crackpot thing. I mean, I have the data to back up it's not. That my methodology is actually frickin' sound, but at the end of the day, I could always be wrong. And that's the point. Is that when you invest, there is always the possibility you're wrong. There's always the possibility you're right, though. The best way to win as an outsider is to be diligent, do your research. Look for great, stellar companies and invest in them, preferably dividend payout ones. Ones that actually rise over time. Find good companies that are real. Coca-Cola is my favorite. I love it. Not only just because Warren Buffett loves it, it's just a great company. And find ones that suck. It's so easy to find a penny stock. Penny stocks are easy to find because most of them suck and they're easy to bet against. So always bet against penny stocks. So bet against them, please. But in the end, I want to tell you guys this. I want to thank you guys for being viewers and subscribers to this channel. You guys, I really mean this. You guys make this channel fun for me. I get to read your comments. I get to respond to these comments. I get to work with you. I get to figure out other opportunities, other minds. Your input is valuable to me. Because look, I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to school for any of this. I believe there are more well-equipped people to tell you guys what to do than I. But I also know that I have valuable opinions and thoughts that I can contribute to this, and I'm not afraid to put my ass out there for criticism, and neither should you. So if you guys find you have any advice you want to give, I need to hear it because I want to take that advice and break it down and describe it to people, describe it for people, and to give people the opportunity to learn from it and figure out a new way to do things in the market. My goal is to make you do things in the market that'll give you a win. Winning is important. I'll admit it. Winning is highly important, and I want to see you win. So I want to thank you guys one more time, always, from the bottom of my heart, for even being viewers of this show, being subscribers on the YouTube, MetaCafe, or any other video platform I decide to put this on. It's always an opportunity for me to change some lives with knowledge. But the action you take after learning this knowledge is important. So remember, so here's the list. You want to short Aurora in any way you can, whether it's a put contract or just buying negative shares. Buy Canopy Growth for the long term, for the long haul. It's a good company, based on all metrics. You can look up more data on it. Big money backs it. Aphria is kind of a limbo one. I would probably stay away from it. Maybe bet against it. I don't know. But Aurora definitely bet against it. Holy shit, bet against it. Anyway, this is to wrap up the show. Look, I've made this show way too long. I've had it go on, but I wanted to go over the core pot stocks with you guys, the cannabis stocks that everybody seems to be so interested in. I want to let you guys know, I don't smoke weed. I'm not a weed guy. I don't like marijuana. It doesn't do anything for me. I love alcohol, if you guys want to know the truth. And why I haven't invested in any alcohol companies is beyond me. But I do like what marijuana does for people. I know it doesn't do anything good for me, but I know it does a lot of good for others. And I love CBD products. I take them every now and then, but even those kind of get me a little bit wary and weird feeling. I feel weird when I have those. So my thing is, I support marijuana because I've seen the good it's done for people. A lot of my good friends love the weed. I love the weed. And I love it. So, and I know it's a high demand product and it makes people feel good because a lot of people are stressed. Everybody's got their vice, and weed is a big vice for everybody. Do I believe it's medicine? Debatable. Do I believe it's good for people? I think so. For some, not for everybody. Not for me. I don't like it. I think it makes me lazy. It makes me angry. So I just know not to take it. That's the point. You gotta know your vices, you know your limits, you try some things, you don't like it, throw it out, But hey, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to view this video. Kind of do what you feel is right in the end. Take my advice in any way you want, but continue to win in the marketplace. And feel free to subscribe if you like my content. Wink, wink. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Keep on winning.